helping us expand our restaurant, make more consistent food, healthier food. And every time that we cook, we always try something a little different or see if it works. Sous-vide.
So it really has helped us have more options and more menu items and be a smaller kitchen.
Hey there, I'm Jason Logston, and this is Exploring Sous Vide, helping you get the most out of your sous vide machine while talking to some of the biggest names in cooking. Today, I'm at Star Chefs International Congress, and we're talking to Mark and Eric from Charcoal BYOB in Yardley, Pennsylvania. They just got done doing the Mother Sauce pop-up challenge here at Star Chefs, and they did an amazing fried calamari that was sous vide first. We're going to talk about how they did that, some of the ways they use sous vide in their restaurants, and how they use sous vide at home, and what is coming up next for them. So I'd like to start off by saying, what does it look like on a typical night around your dinner table?
So for me, actually, honestly enough, I cook sous vide a lot at home. It's a great way to make meals a lot faster, a lot more convenient, a lot more nutritious. And especially my wife doesn't cook, so I can sort of, get chicken cooking and just let it go. And it allows me to focus more time on spending more time with the family or doing other things. So very simple food though. So it's usually a protein, a couple vegetables. I try to eat pretty clean when it comes to things like that at home. So I would say a couple vegetables and a simple roasted piece of protein is good for me.
Pretty simple. I'm more of like a one-pot wonder kind of guy. So it's usually like a chicken braised like meat or chicken and rice or something that I can like put in a pot. Not have to worry about no simmer, and just kind of go from there.
So you guys just participated in the What's Your Mother Sauce pop-up at Star Chefs. Can you talk about what you made here?
We decided to make a dish which sort of grabbed a lot of different influences from different areas. So a lot of what we do at the restaurant, I think, is Italian-based. So it made sense for us to cook a pasta. But we wanted to take flavors from other areas, so we decided to draw inspiration from Nashville hot chicken. And a lot of times it's a piece of fried chicken, and then you dip that into a vat of oil that's been spiced with cayenne pepper and whatnot. But the only downside to that for me is the chicken tends to get a little soggy and get wet. So we decided to make a oil sous vide, actually. Took all the spices that would be in a normal Nashville hot chicken oil and infused them at a very low temperature.
About what temperature?
158 Fahrenheit for 2 hours or so, and then strain the oil off. And we're actually frying the calamari in that oil, so you get a lot of underneath heat. The dish is finished with a little more of the dry seasonings that would go in that oil, some parsley, some lemon zest, and it's paired with two different types of pastas that are on the same plate. So the shape is fusilli, and then we take the squid ink to make one of the noodles, and pureed pickled cherry peppers to make the other. And the sauce is brought together by a tomato sauce, which is our version of a mother sauce, that is infused with some country ham scraps.
So you guys run Charcoal in Yardley, Pennsylvania, right?
That's correct.
How long have you been doing that?
Mark and I have been working together, I would say, with the food we're cooking since 2009. Prior to that, it was our family's restaurant, which our father bought it in 1995.
And how did you get into sous vide cooking?
I really started getting into just molecular gastronomy at probably around 2009. And I noticed that a lot of these higher-end restaurants would be cooking this way, and there wasn't really a ton of information out there. I think there was like a cookbook from Spain, and maybe Thomas Keller Under Pressure came out. If not, it came out shortly after. So when we started, I think a lot of the equipment was super expensive.
Yeah.
And we really didn't have a lot of knowledge, so we started digging into more like chemistry, science-based books and figuring out, okay, well, proteins denature at this temperature, and that sort of was our first introduction to sous vide cooking. And since then, I feel like we've sort of embraced it in helping us expand our restaurant, make more consistent food, healthier food. I think in every time that we cook, we always try something a little different or see if it works, sous vide, so to speak.
What do you think the biggest benefit to using sous vide in a restaurant is for a chef?
Especially for us, if you don't have a lot of staff, like we're a small restaurant, so there's only 3 cooks that are ever really working. So for us, it's the ability to kind of almost set it and forget it. So you can put it in, and you can go on to other tasks. So we have things going throughout the day. On a regular prep day, we can probably go into the circulators 4 or 5 different times, different things, and it's nice because you just put it in, you set your timer, you move on to another task, and you're not stuck watching that one ingredient all day. So it really has helped us have more options and more menu items and be a smaller kitchen because now we have multiple things going at times.
And I think it also increases the speed of which you're able to pick up dishes. You know, we're able to already get that whatever it may be, a vegetable, a fish, to that temperature. It's already sort of set, and after that, you're just sort of adding the secondary base, whether it be a roast or a grill or something.
So as a chef, I'm sure you can cook a lot of things a lot of different ways, but what is one thing that you, since you got into using sous vide, that you basically only do at sous vide?
I don't know if there's one thing, because I think there's a lot of things that I really benefit from it. One would be an ice cream base. Stirring a pot of milk and worrying about those proteins sticking to the bottom is such a pain, and with sous vide, you're just able to sort of target the exact temperature, cook it for, whatever time it may be, and then take that bag and throw it into a big pot of ice water, and you're able to chill it down fast. It's just very convenient.
What type of temperature do you usually use for your ice cream bases?
Ice cream base, I'll do 82.5 Celsius for about 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
Another great one, I think, is like a Swiss meringue. So we'll take egg whites and sugar, a little citric acid, a little salt, cryovac it, and then cook that at 65.5 Celsius for about 40 minutes. And then as soon as it comes out, whip it up in a KitchenAid, and you have, or if you wish, you can actually chill it down and whip it up later, but you have a cooked, safe meringue with great consistency.
Awesome. I'm always trying to figure out what to do with more egg whites. I feel like I've been making a lot of pot de crèmes lately, and there's a lot of egg yolk in that. What's something that you've tried using sous vide on, and you just always use the traditional method now?
I think overall, big pot blanching. So green vegetables, I typically don't lean towards sous vide. I don't think it's the best application for that technique. And even then, I think there's certain types of maybe even fish where just cryovacking just changes the texture. So like a traditional roast on, like a scallop or something like that, I think tastes far superior than, slow cooking a scallop.
Since you've done some of the more modernist cooking type stuff, is there other components of that you think either chefs or home cooks could benefit from exploring more that's like sous vide can be actually pretty accessible for people to use?
Yeah, sous vide's incredible. Now, for Christmas one year, our father bought us like a cheaper $100 version, which I use at home, and I absolutely love it. And I think that with a food saver can really just change the way that people eat, store food.
The food saver is huge, and then I do a lot of prepping it at home, meal prep for the week. So on a day off, I can get the entire week's meals for my wife because I might not be home set up, and then it's all saved and it's in, and she can just grab a bag and go. So the food saver is huge. I think more people should definitely think of that, and it eliminates waste too. And I think induction's another big one that people for home should look into as far as speed of cooking and not having the time on the stove as well.
People don't learn to cook by themselves. You learn from other people, and it can be collaborative. Who are your inspirations that inspired your cooking and your restaurant?
For me, I think it changed a lot from when I first started cooking to now. And not to say that I still don't think that I hold those people up to a pedestal, but I think how I look at food has sort of changed. But a really big influence for me personally was a chef named Alex Talbot. So he runs Ideas in Food. Him and his wife sort of just came in on a whim one day to our restaurant, and since then we became really good friends. And just a great colleague that I can lean on. We can bounce ideas off each other. So I would say that overall, he's probably a really big inspiration for me.
I know I've started cooking probably in the late 90s. So there wasn't that this online community that there is now. There wasn't as many cookbooks. So I know for me, it was a much more visceral approach to cooking. It was basically trial and error and doing things. And then, yeah, it wasn't until later, and even when we first got into molecular gastronomy, here we are thinking like we're like, you know, the next best thing, and you're like, oh, look what we just did. And then like a couple years later, you'll find like someone did that like 10 years ago, and you're like, oh man. But the cool thing about Alex meeting him was he really kind of helped us marry that idea of cooking modern, but you know, in a way that people understand it where it makes sense. So not being like showy, but using it for actual technique and blending that with just like really good food. And since then, yeah, we've developed a great relationship, and he's definitely changed the way that we look at recipes.
I follow ideas in food too, and I love that their approach is here's something that's going to make the dish better. There's a purpose to it, which is always nice. So what's in the future for you? What's next on your journey as either cooks or restaurateurs?
To be honest with you, and I don't want to speak for Mark, but I don't like to look that far in advance. I really don't like looking anywhere, you know, like a month out. For me, it's just sort of being in the moment, and whatever opportunity arises, I sort of address it head on.
For me, it's just to keep cooking and doing what we do. I love what I do, and I don't want that to change. You know, I have a really happy balance right now, I think, with the amount of work that we do and the amount of time we spend at the restaurant. So I'm really happy with that. It's just, we cook, we have a great loyal customer base, and we have a lot of fun doing it. I mean, I get to cook with my brother and one of our best friends, which is the three of us, so it's time well spent. And yeah, I mean, there's no big visions of grandeur. It's just, I want to cook good food and have people enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, if someone wants to come to your restaurant or they need to get hold of you, what's the best way to get more info from you two?
Our website, charcoalbyob.com, and then there's links to our Instagram at charcoalbyob. We're always posting up new dishes, what's on the menu. We go in depth sometimes, we'll explain our techniques, so it's a good avenue to follow if you want to learn kind of more about us as chefs.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your insights and sharing your passion for cooking with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. This has been Exploring Sous Vide with Jason Logston, helping you get the most out of your sous vide machine by talking to some of the biggest names in the industry. Till next time, happy cooking.